These are the only 7 things that you need to live in a car. When I first started looking into moving into my car, most of the videos I saw were fancy builds and expensive setups, and it was a little bit discouraging. Have you ever wondered if you would make it living out of a car? If you have these 7 things, you'll have a lot better chance. Let's get right into it. This list really isn't in any particular order, although number 1 is non-negotiable and definitely is the most important, and that's a reliable car. If you don't have a reliable car, then this just can't work. When I started doing this, I didn't have any money. All I had was an idea of what I wanted to do and a Toyota Camry. And the Camry didn't really work for what I needed, so I started looking into what will. And I came across a Prius. Prius is just great for this lifestyle. It gets amazing gas mileage. The fact that it's a hybrid and can cycle on means you can run your AC if it's super hot and it's not that big a deal. It just works really well for this lifestyle. Also, the seats lay back, everything's kind of flat. So it's very minimal build. You can even do no build, but I chose to do like super minimal build. If you don't have a reliable car, you're not going to get very far doing this. I ended up financing this car through Carvana. I probably paid a little bit more than it was worth, but I had no down payment and my payments were $178 a month. And it was like a 5-year loan or something crazy. In my mind, I was like, right now I need the car. I'll just do this, have a low payment, no down payment, and just get started. Well, over the next like year and a half, the more I did this and the more money I saved, I just started chunking the principal with payments and ended up paying it off in like a year and a half. I saved myself a lot of money on the interest that I would have paid if I would have just kept paying minimum payments. Sometimes it's worth it just to get started and pay a little bit more to take the stress off of putting a massive down payment on a car or spending a little money on a car that's not reliable and strands you everywhere all the time. It's just not worth the stress. I would rather pay a little bit more for the peace of mind. That's number 1, reliable car, non-negotiable. Number 2 is a good sleep setup. If you're trying to sleep on a 1-inch foam pad, you're just going to be miserable and it's not going to work. Spend the money for a good mattress. Whatever your sleep space is, measure that out. And my suggestion is to go on Amazon and look at camper mattresses. There's a lot of different sizes of camper mattresses, and you can usually find one that fits the specifications that you need. Go on Amazon, find a camper mattress, make sure it's good quality, make sure it's thick. I wouldn't get anything less than like 3 inches, 3 or 4 inches. Get as big as you can because you just want to be comfortable while you're sleeping. It will make this lifestyle 100 times easier. That's what I use right here. It's called a Foma mattress. I tried a couple different things before I ran into this one. I ended up trying out to stack 2 baby mattresses on top of each other. They were just uncomfortable though. And then I tried an air mattress too, but I hate air mattresses. I'd much rather wanted foam. You know, I kind of tried to go cheap at first and then eventually realized this is why you don't go cheap. But it's a couple inches thick, probably like 3 or 4 inches. It's got a layer of foam padding on top. It's super comfortable too. Like, this thing is just as comfortable as like any real mattress I've slept on, and it fits my car almost perfectly. This little hump right here kind of makes it stick up, but my legs go here, so it doesn't really matter. Another thing, get a fitted sheet for your specific mattress so you don't have a bunch of excess sheet everywhere. And also, there's a mess back here, get some comfortable blankets. I have 2, and these are about all I ever need. This blanket right here is like wool. It's like wool on one side. I don't know if that's exactly wool, but it's like super comfortable here. And then this side's kind of like a felt. One side's felt and then one side's wool. It's super warm. Get something like that for sure. I think the coldest I've slept in was like mid-20s, and still have never used my sleeping bag. Get some warm blankets. I do also have a sleeping bag though, just in case. That night that I slept in mid-20s, I was really close to pulling the bag out because the blankets were just letting too much cold in. Number two, a sleeping setup. Good mattress, fitted sheet, couple of nice blankets, a sleeping bag just in case, and get some comfortable pillows. That's not really a car life thing. Everybody should have comfortable pillows, but get some good pillows. Number three, window covers and tent. These right here, the windshield one I just ordered, it's just a windshield cover, and it's got the little thing for your visor here. I don't remember how much this was. This is like 15, 20 bucks, but get it. It's honestly most important probably for the windshield, because if you have dark tint all around, your windshield's going to be the main window that people will be able to see you in. So get the windshield cover. I would just order that. These right here, you can order these, but I just made my own. There's tons of videos out there how to make these. All it is Reflectix from Home Depot. It's just like a roll you can buy. It's like 20, 30 bucks for like a roll of, I don't know, like 50 feet or something. And then it's black duct tape. I just did strips of duct tape all the way across. And it's important, you want the black side to face out. So you just use the Reflectix and you put it up in your windshield, and then you just mark it out and then cut out the size you want. Always cut it a little bit bigger too. If you cut it too small, there'll be gaps and people will be able to see light through. And then once you get the size you want, then you just tape it up. You know, I have a little marking. This is PB, passenger back. At this point, I know which one's which, but at first it did help. And then, especially for the Prius, the back window it's slanted down like this. So the window cover will just constantly fall out. So what I had to do is Velcro. So I just put Velcro across the top back. So when I put it up in the window, it'll stick into the window like that. For my front windows, I did something a little different. I do have the same covers, but I don't really like using them. For the front windows, I just use blackout curtains that I bought off Amazon that came with like hooks and ropes that you can just rig up in your car. I mean, the window's down there. That's what it looks like in the middle of the day. But it's just like a little curtain there. And here's what it looks like from the inside. I just got it rigged up with like Velcro. It's got a hook that just hooks right there, and then it runs along this rope. I just got another hook that hooks in like that, and then I just connect it all the way up. There is a little gap right here, but my rain guards block out that. And then this one is just a single sheet right there. This one you can see a little bit more in. There's like a gap right here. But whenever I sleep, my head's like right here. And this is like flush to the door right here. So even if somebody comes and like looks in right here and shines a light, like I'm sleeping over here, all they'll be able to see is like my driver's seat. It's kind of handy too. They're not completely blackout from that side. You can't see in, but if there's light, like a flashlight or daylight, like I can still kind of see silhouettes and stuff through there too. The thing I suggest the most, get super dark tint. I have limo tint on the back doors and the back windshield. You cannot see anything in there. It's like a mirror. You have to like get down and do this in order to see anything. So I have limo tint on this window and this little bitty Prius window in the back here. And then my driver and passenger side is like, I think 20%. It's as dark as they would do it. And then I also got tint on my windshield, which is like 50%, I want to say. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's as dark as they would go on every window. If you buy tint, make sure you get ceramic tint. Ceramic tint cuts out the UV rays for heat too, which makes summers much more tolerable when you're in a car all the time. Tint's great for privacy, but it's just as important for heat reduction. So keep that in mind. Window covers won't help with that. And the last thing that kind of goes along with the tint is rain guards. They're really cheap, and not only will they let you roll down the windows in the rain, which is what they're designed to do, but especially for car life, they let you crack the windows at night. You can crack the windows like an inch here, and then you can get airflow coming through your car at night and still be stealth. If I didn't have these and my windows were cracked, you could literally just walk up to the door and just look right in my car. So with these here, it's also, you know, it's just tint so you can crack the windows. Good purchase. They're not really expensive either. I think they were like 50 bucks for the whole, for the 4 set. Number 4 is a power station. I have a Jackery, but really any brand will do. There's a lot of really good power station brands out there. I have the 500. And honestly, this is overkill for if you're just trying to charge a computer or a phone or something like that. You really don't need something this big, but you definitely need something like this, especially one that has the input charge where you can just charge it off your car while it's running. I definitely want to upgrade this at some point, because only having one plug gets kind of annoying sometimes when you just want to charge multiple things at once. I want to upgrade to something a little bit more powerful in case I want to run like an air fryer or something. This is too small to run most appliances. And then just buy something with more than one plug so I don't have to juggle plugs around. The main reason I like this though, which goes into number 5, the 5th thing that you need is an electric cooler. At first, I did the cheap thing where I just bought the little ice cooler, and I was having to refill it every 2 or 3 days, and it was just obnoxious. I highly wish I just bought the battery-powered cooler at first. You know, ice is not cheap these days. If you pay like $3, $4 for a bag of ice, over a year, you're paying hundreds of dollars for ice. My cooler is full up right now, and I didn't want to pull it out, so I'll just take you over there and give you a view of it. My cooler is underneath the head of my bed. It also kind of serves as like my headrest for my bed, which is interesting. That just kind of worked out like that though. And then I got some extra foam underneath just to make it a little bit more comfortable. But here's my cooler right here. It is I think it's an eHominy, I think is the name of it. Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's just cooler. Got apples and turkey and parfaits and my water in there. It can be a freezer too, but you know, you got to kind of pick one or the other. It's not like 2 chambers. So you can cool lower than 32 degrees, but then everything freezes. So, and I have it rigged up here with these things. These things wrap around my Jackery and hook it in here because, like I said, 4 goes into 5. This thing just plugs into my Jackery. And that's another reason why I want to upgrade, because this thing is always plugged in. So if I want to charge anything else with a plug, I have to unplug my cooler, and it's just obnoxious. Definitely recommend getting a cooler. Having cold drinks in the summertime, it's hard to put a price on that. Because I went through a while where I just had the ice cooler, and when you run out of ice, sometimes, you know, you wouldn't get more ice, and then you would have water in your cooler that would just get room temperature and 100 degrees outside, and you're sipping room temperature water, and I just didn't enjoy it. Also, if you have a cooler, you can keep an ice pack. In 80+ degree weather, if you have an ice pack and you throw it on your neck while you're trying to sleep, at least for me, it helps me and puts me to sleep like that. Get the cooler. Number 6 is a gym membership. Honestly, it's probably the most important thing after a good sleep setup. It could even be more important than a good sleep setup. But your gym membership is your shower and your exercise. There's just really no way around it. If you're doing this, you have to have one. If you're traveling, I highly recommend Planet Fitness. You know, everybody says that because it is true. Planet Fitness has more locations than any other gym chain. There's one in almost every town. You get unlimited access to your home gym and you get 10 visits a month at every other location. So I have ran into some issues with Planet Fitness where, you know, like in Vegas or Bend, whenever I stay for more than a month in one place, eventually, because I go to the gym every day pretty much. Unless I'm out here like this, wild camping, like I didn't go to the gym today. Every other day, basically guaranteed. So that's minimum 15 uses a month. You can change your home gym every 3 months. So you can change it 4 times a year. What if you're going to a new town every month? What you can do is you can ask them, tell them, hey, my window is not open yet. Can you just force my transfer through? That's what I had them do in Vegas when I got here. After I hit my 10 uses, the guy told me I was going to have to pay if I was going to keep coming there. So I mentioned that I had just changed my home gym to Bend like 2 months ago. So my window wasn't up. And he let me know that the Planet Fitness employees can call your old gym and I don't know, I guess they get like permission or something from them to like swap and they can force it through on their end. So technically you can change your home gym as many times as you want as long as the employee will do that for you. So if you ever run into that problem, maybe this can help you out. So I recommend Planet Fitness if you're traveling. If you're local, you're just living in a vehicle and you're staying in the same area, like you have a job or a family that like anchors you to a place, I would highly suggest just doing your own research and finding a good gym in your area with lots of amenities that's probably cheap. You can get like a 6-month deal or something. Gyms run deals all the time because they're trying to get people in there. They're trying to get people on memberships. So, you know, you can find a gym with like a pool and like a sauna and like all that cool stuff. I would suggest doing that if you're local. So there's number 6. Number 7 is probably the least important, but when you need it, it's the most important. And that is a roadside emergency kit. Specifically, these 3 things that I have right here. Number 1 is a battery jump pack. You know, you can just carry jumper cables, but what if you're in the middle of nowhere with no other cars around? Jumper cables ain't gonna do nothing. So you wanna get like a battery pack that will hold a couple charges and, you know, has the little hookups. And then you just make sure you keep this charged, throw it in your trunk or whatever. And then if your battery dies and you're in the middle of nowhere, you can just pop your hood, hook these up to your battery, hit the button, and it just jumps your car. It's pretty awesome. And they're not very expensive either. I don't know what I paid for this, like 30 bucks or something. Number 2 is a tire puncture repair kit. If you ever run over like a nail or something, just get you this little kit. It comes with, let's see, it comes with this little tool. This, you probably want some pliers too if you ever need to pull something out. But it comes with this little tool too, where you stick in the tire and it creates a gap to where you can get this tool in, which this tool, you take these little sticky goo things. I don't know what you call these, but you stick this on this tool right here, and then you shove it in that puncture hole that you made with this one. When you pull it out, it leaves this behind in the tire and it plugs it for you. So another thing that goes along with this is a tire inflator. So you have to be able to plug your tire, then you have to be able to blow it back up so you can get somewhere safe. This is like a dual purpose thing. It's a vacuum. That's why it looks like a dust buster, but it's a vacuum. But on the back, it's got the adapter where you plug in the tire inflator And then it's got two different settings where if you flip it up, it's a vacuum. And if you flip it down, it airs up your tire. So that's kind of cool. Just a little dual purpose thing. Also in the same vein with this is AAA. You know, it's a monthly payment that you may not want to pay, but the amount of peace of mind that AAA and free tows bring when you're doing this, it's hard to put a price on that. And I think the price they ask, like $100 a year or something, is so worth it. I'm out here in the middle of the desert in Nevada, and I just always have the safety of, as long as I have service, that if something happens that I can't fix, then I'll always be able to call AAA and get somewhere safe. And man, it's just too good. You can't not have it. AAA is more important the worse your car is. If you just bought a brand new car with like 10,000 miles on it, you're not going to need AAA as much because you're not going to break down. I guess you know, it doesn't matter how new your car is if you run over something and blow a tire off, but that's where the tire kit comes in and the spare tire and all that stuff. So if you got an old car, get AAA. Honestly, just get it anyway. If you think this lifestyle could help you out, just start and figure it out as you go. That's what I'm doing. The cool thing about this is you save so much money. Month 2, when you don't have to pay rent, you can go to Home Depot, buy some Reflectix and make window covers. Month 3, when you don't have to pay rent, you can go to REI and pick up a power station. Month 4, you can go pick up a cooler. Just add things as you go. If you start minimum and add things as you know you need them, you don't buy a bunch of crap that you're just going to get rid of in the future. When I started this, I had so much stuff. Like I went out and bought the camping stove and the butane and the, you name it. I had all this crap, the table to cook on and the big camping chair. This is what I use now. Now that I realize that saving space is way more important, that camping chair was just in the way all the time. I was constantly having to move it around. This thing, it can go anywhere. It's like this big. You can build your setup to fit your life. That's what I'm doing. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I appreciate you hanging out. We'll see you next time.